Hello guys, and welcome to a messy Mark Shrimp Talks. Today we are going to repurpose this old hang and back filter I have here. It still works, but it's seen better days. I think we should modify it a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I make this kind of thing shrimp safe, because this is one that was in just a planted tank before. So we're going to modify it, and we are going to fill it with some suitable media. So stay tuned, guys. What we're going to do with this is, I have lost the divide for here, so we need to make something to fit in there. Okay, and I was thinking about using this plastic mesh stuff here, but the problem you can see with this is it will go down to the bottom, but it will also let water flow all the way through the top. I'm just going to show you the inside to make this easier for you to understand. The water will flow in through the bottom. You can see this little cutout part here. Normally this is solid, this area here. See where my fingers are? Normally it's solid, so it passes, the water has to pass through all the bottom and then up through the material. Okay, so we put in something like this. It's kind of going to defeat the purpose. The water will flow through at the top instead of going through the long way, basically. So we need to make something to fill that gap. Alright, so let's see, what about this? I'm doing this off the cuff, guys, as well, and you will be able to tell as well, because that would have been great if that worked in there. But then again, we have the same problem here. It doesn't fit at all in there. What else can we use? What about this? This is one that's come off an old Aquatic 20, I do believe. Oh, look at that. Look at that, guys. That is almost a perfect fit in there. We can somehow modify this, I think. Let me get this in front. Let me get it here so you can actually see what I'm doing. So this, for some reason, fits almost perfect. Look at that, isn't that weird? How that almost fits perfect. It's almost like they stole the design from Aquatic, but it's not long enough. Okay, so we're going to have to cut this part here. Roughly, we're just going to eyeball it, I think. We'll cut the bottom part actually, because it looks like it's easy to cut there. People be like, oh no, you're wasting that Aquatic basket. Now, I no longer have the Aquatic for this, so it's okay if I do that. Let's see, we're going to see how much we have to cut off this. It is a little bit fiddly though, but it's a good fit. Alright, you guys can see how good that is in there. It is a little bit long. That is about it. So we're going to cut off maybe this top part here just to make it flush. Not the top part, the bottom part. Can't get it out now. There you go. So that shows you how good a fit that was there. I don't want to cut off this top part. I wasn't really keen on this part here though, because it will let water out there. Let me see, I'm just going to cut a tiny bit off this edge here, guys, just to make sure it fits a little bit easier and snugly. Snug as a bug in a rug and it's blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? It's really not doing anything. There you go. I only want to take a small part off just to make it easier to go down. We'll try that again. Shall we try that again? Oh, here comes Mark singing again. So that is looking a bit better. It just goes to show, never throw away your stuff, because it might not fit one thing, but it might fit something else. Okay, that is good enough, don't you think, guys? Water will flow through the bottom here. Some will flow through this top part. There's not much else I can do with that. You see? Unless I glue something across the front there. I might put a bit of sponge or something on this side just to block it off a little bit. Or even turn it around even. Let's see. Yeah, my bad, nearly dropped the camera. Let's turn that around. I think it's such a tight fit. Oh, it actually fits better the other way around. Look at that. How good is that? By the way, guys, if you hear a buzzing noise, it's from my, I have a machine that's measuring my blood pressure, etc. constantly for 24 hours. So if you hear zzz and stuff, that is not what you think it is. It's something else, you mother fudgers. So I'm going to stop the video just now, and I'll be back 1 second because I have to not move when I'm doing this. Okay, welcome back. My bad, guys. Yeah, so that to me looks a good fit there, don't you agree? Most of the water will pass through the bottom and come through. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill this with some kind of media. Let's see, what do we have? We have some clay balls here. I have from a previous build. I would like to try and put some kind of false bottom in here to protect the inlet so nothing gets blocked and it constantly comes through. Shall we try that, guys? How can we do that though? Let's see, maybe we need to put something in there, then something on top. That would make sense. Alright, so let's fill this up a little bit. Some of these clay balls, up past at least the inlet part. A little bit more, I'm sorry if you can't see. There you go, so that's covered all the inlet part in the bottom half. Let me just give that a little shake. Gotta wiggle it just a little bit. Right, then I'm going to cover it with some plastic mesh like this because I plan to put some gravel in there. And yes, I know gravel will block, but the point of me doing this is I'm reclaiming a filter that otherwise would be thrown away. Okay, so I know the gravel will block eventually, but in that time it will be a long time before that ever happens. And by the way, guys, as well, I'm going to use a pre-filter on this, which will protect the media inside the basket. See, here's my eyeball today. So it needs a little bit off the left. This is great, this stuff. This is called plastic canvas. I bought this off eBay years ago. By the way, guys, this used to be the stuff that used to hang on my top tank up there. Okay, so that's nearly a good fit, but it's not good for the edges. So we need to round the edges ever so slightly. This one as well. I think it's still a little bit too wide. Yeah, round that edge. There you go. So we need to see, it's almost there. It's only this little lip here that's stopping it going in. So we need to take off 2 rows of this plastic canvas. Now what this stuff is going to do is it's going to protect the clay balls underneath from the gravel that we're going to put into it. Okay. Is it going to fit first time? Oh, look at that! Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great when things just go smoothly? What is it? Not Mr. T. What was the guy called in the A-Team? Hannibal. Was it Hannibal? Maybe? See? How good is that? Now the water should go through that tiny gap there, through all that media, then back up again. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a gravel bed in here, but I want the gravel bed to be higher than this lip here, right? I want the gravel bed to come up here, so I'm going to cut a piece to go over the front here as well. Just so happens to be kind of this size. The white stuff is super glue from a previous build, but super glue is harmless once it's set, so let's use this stuff, I think. Right, so it's a little bit wide. I'm going to take 2 off. This will help to hold back the clay balls. That was quite a good fit, I think. So looking good. My only concern with this is if I fill this with gravel, is this going flop? Or is it strong enough? What do you think, guys? I really don't want it to flop forward though, because if it flops forward, I'll lose a lot of material. I think that's probably strong enough. Let's try some material in there. Dry fit, as they would say. Now, as you can see, this kind of gravel, this is gravel I got years and years ago, and it's really porous. I think it was made by Tropica. So let's fill this up. Oh, you know what we should do before we go any further as well, guys, is I'm going to put the pothos back in here, so I'm going to grab the pothos I have over here, and it's going to go back into the filter. Alright, it's going to go back into the filter because pothos is absolutely fantastic for removing nitrates. So it's good to have in a filter. I wouldn't necessarily have this in a tank though. Okay, because you will notice I no longer have it in my tanks. And it wasn't just because I think it might be dangerous if they eat it, it's because shrimp will climb out of the thing. Alright, so here we go, we spread it in. Remember guys as well, this is going into a tank that we had, was already set up. It was full of plants. Let's see, how can I do that? I want to fix this little part here. What do you think? A cable tie around there and around that edge? Do I even have cable ties that small? Let me see. I want to use black just to keep it kind of the same colour. We shall go in through the front corner. I don't think this corner is going to fall over for some reason. This corner is pretty flimsy though. So I'll go through the second one. And this is just a hole that I need to cut. There you go. Like so. Did I break it there? I didn't. Ooh, I didn't. Right, so I'm going to go in just a wee bit closer so you can see. See, this is what I'm fixing here, is this little flimsy edge. I'm going to put a cable tie from that edge around here. Alright? So I don't want you guys to miss anything. Okay, so keep your eyes open all the time. Watch every single step I do. Rewind the video. Rewind your Betamaxes. God, that brings back memories. Betamaxes. I remember seeing them. Those were the ones that were meant to be taking over from VHS tapes, but that never really happened. Now I don't want this to be uber tight because it doesn't have to be. This kind of snip is the best for cutting cable ties flat, so that's what I'm going to use for this. If you use scissors, they tend to leave an edge. You see how that? It's perfectly flat. And now that we have this secure, I'm just going to give it a little dunt. And this is basically a technique to use in gardening as well, is to make sure the pots are filled. Like this, give it a little shake down. The gravel will go down evenly. We'll fill it up with a little bit more. And there you go. There we have our modified hangback filter. And now I'm just going to do something with the intake part of it, right? This is one that has been broken many times. You can see that I have modified this countless times. I'm going to take off the old filter guard, which will probably go in the bucket. Get the mess of it. Right, and this pipe is, I think it's a little bit short, so we need a new one, I think. So we're going to take off this one. I think this might be strong enough to take it off, so we shall see. But it is siliconed in. It's not strong enough for me. Alright. And I think we need something that's at least, what do you think guys, at least, I'll show you the tank where it's going first and then you can make your mind up. Going in the tub, it's going, the tub. And so there's the tank. This part's going to overhang, like so. So we need, I think it needs like 1 or 2 inches extra. So that is the length of the piece of pipe that we will cut. That is the length we will cut for here. So here we have our pipe. This one is 20mm in, I think it's the outside diameter actually. I was going to say inside, but I think it's the outside on this one. Right, and we want it just to be 2 inches longer, so that is about 2 inches. I'm going to use my famous Mark's eyeball here. And then we have our saw. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this so you're going to be able to see, unless I turn the camera this way. My messy bench. It's not normally this messy guys, I normally have mine's pretty well cleaned. I normally have it pretty well cleaned. You might be able to see this in the corner. My camera's barely on the table. Right, so I'm going to take this slow. You don't want to cut your fingers off. Alright, part falls to the floor. I'm going to show you a good way how to clean this as well, because it's actually, for me, it's better than sandpaper. So we have our really rough joint here, you can see it. I use this, guys, I use wire wool like this. I'm just going to give this a little wet. You see the edge here? Watch it disappear, right? Just like this. You're going to get fancy, stick your finger in a little bit like that and give it a good turn. Right, and this takes all the burrs off the pipe. You see how clean that looks? And I used a hacksaw, look how good it looks. Impressed? Just going to give it a little rinse out just to clear any plastic pieces that may be inside. Okay, so now we have the length of our pipe. We can get on to fixing this properly. Right, I'm going to use no glue on this because I have a lot of silicone still in here. You can actually still see it, I think. So it should fit in really easily. And this will be airtight and watertight, okay? So now we need something to go on this end. Now I can do this quite a few ways. You can put a sponge in here if you like. One of my preferred methods is to simply tie a pair of women's tights over this, like this basically. I just happen to have one lying here because I use this a lot on a lot of my filters. I'm going to show you right now. Like this, that is women's tights on that filter. This was an Eheim fish tank filter that wasn't shrimp safe. I made it shrimp safe by putting women's tights around it. I have a filter in the back there, back corner, the same. And this one is the same. I don't know if you can see back there. But that is how you make filters safe. Okay. Now typically I would drill more holes in this up here. Let me just angle that down a little bit more. I'll put more holes in this, but just for demonstrations today we're going to use this. And obviously this is far too long. Or you can also, guys, if you wanted to, you could use a sponge like this. Simply have to push it over the end. Shall we use a sponge actually? Let's see if this will fit. If this fits, I'll use this sponge, because sometimes you have to cut the centre out a little bit to get these to fit in. I don't want that to happen with this. What is going on? It's a little bit tight. And ideally, I should put holes up here. If my drill is charged, we'll do that right now, I think. Let's have a look. It is here. Because I think it's easier if you see it done right first time. And I could put that piece of tights over there, but I know a lot of you guys won't have things like tights. You will already have sponge filters lying around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up the largest drill bit. I probably should drill some pilot holes here as well, because this might skid. Let me see, am I going to be able to show you this? The famous workbench disaster. Mark drills through his arm. Let's see, so we're going to use my drill. Let's see, will it go? Oh, what's not meant to happen? Obviously I didn't tighten up the chuck part of it enough. Let's try that again. I think it's actually because my drill is nearly out of power. I'm going to hold it this time, push it right through so it drills the other side. 2 holes at once, woo! And I'm going to go one up and through the other side. One up. And then through the other side again. It's entirely up to you how many times you do this. You can see how many holes are on this now. I'm going to quickly go over and give it a scrub like I showed you before. This thing with the wire wool again. I'm sorry about this, guys. I know it's not the best blended film you will ever see. in the world, but I know a lot of you guys will appreciate this kind of stuff. See, looking good. Give it a rinse like we always do. And back to the operation table. Now, where's my sponge went? It was here. There it is. Tried to escape. Oh. Alright, so here we have it again. I'm going to push this in. Hope it doesn't rip this. This is a very tight fit. It's probably the best way for it to be. Very tight fit. Now that is up quite a bit. You see it? You can't see the holes if I pull it down like this, so it is up far enough now. And what we're going to do is, because I don't want to put anything on the end here, I'm going to just take a cable tie, black one if I can pull out here, and see this last piece of sponge around here. I'm actually going to put my cable tie in that groove. Okay, and this is going to close this loop here. You can put a piece of sponge in there if you like, but this is just like a super easy way to do it. See, it's already closed, you see? You see, it's super easy. Where's those snips? My messy work table. Right, so we're almost there, guys. We actually have the basis of our filter finished already. It's like some kind of honeycomb thing. Alright, so there's the front. I'm saying we're almost finished, but I haven't shown you it all yet, have I? We still have more stuff to do. Let's see. This goes back on here. Doing good. And then we have to fit it back in there, but I can't do that until it's nearly ready to go in the tank. But the other little thing I wanted to show you guys as well is this. Quite a few of you have been saying to me, Mark, my hub filter is super loud, and I can understand that as well. I used to have quite a few of these and they were so annoying. And this is a way how you can make them quiet. You need a bottle for this. If you have a small cola bottle, it works better than what I'm going to show you. Let's take the label off. Take all of your label off, and of course it doesn't come off in one piece because I'm filming. Come on, where is it? Where's that little edge there? Let's get your label off. Throw it on the floor, and then, because I can see there's a little bit of water in here, I'm just going to pour it into the sink. And we're going to cut our top off. Same thing again, guys, I'll show you in other videos. Squeeze the bottle like so, cut off the top, a straight line across. Anybody that does this perfectly first time will get a blue Peter badge. I'm just going to clean it up like you've seen me do before. Go anti-clockwise like this with your scissors to make a nice straight line. Okay. I can still see some water in there, so I'm going to empty it again. Right, and then some of you will see what I'm going to do here. You see, this is kind of going to go here, so we now need the width from here to here. And I can already see this doesn't have to be super perfect, guys, so just kind of roughly eyeball it. Squeeze your bottle flat, cut across the line where you want it to be cut. Right, and then here what we're going to do is we're going to cut our bottle in half across. Now this is the line that's going to, the water will flow across. It's up to you if you want to keep it perfectly straight or not. Alright, and then your bottle will go like this. It will go under the lip. Here, you see it. And then back over your hub filter. Now it just depends on how you've made yours. I will get away with doing mine like this. You see it? What will happen is the water will flow down there and it will hit this lid and then gently roll to the sides and be quieter. But my blood pressure thing's going off again. One momento, guys. Okay, blood pressure machine is finished. Now this doesn't look too pretty, so what I'd suggest you do here is mount it up on the tank, and then you can cut this to size for what you will need. Right, so ours is quite clearly too big. So let's get it off here. And we are going to cut at least a quarter of it. I would like to get this this little glue mark off it, so we're going to take that off, I think. Hopefully it will still be long enough. Please, if there is a guard, there is. Right? So that's how that fits on there. This little last bit here, what you might want to do is, see this edge, you might want to just fold it over so it grabs that lip. Okay? Remember guys, it doesn't have to be perfect either. Nobody's ever going to see it apart from you. And if you're happy with it, that is fine. And see how this is now pulling a little bit out of this edge. Something I'm not really... There we go, is that better? It's not. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? So this is what it looks like now. You may have to adjust this again when it's up and running. And I think that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put it into the tank. Well, unfortunately I can't do that with you in my hands, so I'm going to put it on the tank and we're going to see it is on. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. It is by no means spectacular, but what it will do is it will quieten down your tank significantly just by doing this one mod here. Now if you have a fish room like I do, this part is not necessary. If you have a tank in your bedroom or your living room, this is an absolutely fantastic mod. It will quieten the noise down by like 50% or something like that. But because we are in a fish room, like I've just said, I don't need this, so I'm just going to show you the flow difference with it off. It's not mega powerful, but it's good enough, I think. And this filter isn't primed properly yet either. My one, for some reason, this one takes a little while. That pipe at the top fills up with a lot of air. I could drill a hole here and put a non-return valve here so I could suck the air out. I know how to do that. This filter has been on its last legs for about 6 months. And it's still going. All this in here, guys, is Java moss as well. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if this helps just one of you guys quieten down your filter, make it run that little bit better. I mean, this is a lot of media for this size of tank typically. Okay, so your filter will be super clean. Your sponge, if it's very fine poured, might block up too much, and you will just need to clean it a little bit more. But you'll be able to see that by the water flow. Let's have a look around the front. Let's have a wee look around the front. There's really not much to see, but you can see it working. Isn't that a beautiful tank? All this Java moss, nothing else in here. Yes, if any of you guys found this helpful, please leave me a like. If you want to subscribe, do that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching, guys. Happy shrimp keeping.